welcome to Stretford Paddock. We're here for the team news for Manchester United against Manchester City. Pretty big game, I think we can all agree, can't we? This team news should be coming out anytime, well, in the next 5 or so minutes. There has been a little bit of a leak. Again, there's been a leak pretty much every week for the last, three or four games now? So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. There was a similar leak under Mourinho, Jose Mourinho, wasn't there? That seemed to be snuffed out at some point. But at the moment, we seem to have leaks going on. So I'll read out this leak team. Obviously, take it with a pinch of salt for now because this could change. It's not the official lineup, but this is the team that is being supposedly leaked. So we've got a back five. We've got David De Gea in net. We've got Wan-Bissaka, who is clearly past his fitness test. We've got Victor Lindelof, Harry Maguire, who again looked like he might be a doubt. So both of them back in the squad. We've got Luke Shaw as that left centre-back, as we've seen him against City already this season, in a few other games as well this season. And then Brandon Williams looks to be starting again, if you believe the leaks. Then we've got a midfield of McTominay, Fred and Fernandes, but there are also some rumours of Matic coming back in for McTominay. So again, it's hard to know exactly what the truth is in all this. And then again, that split striker formation, as we've seen a few times this season, of Dan James, who again looked to be a doubt before the game, and Anthony Martial, who, whilst he hasn't been a doubt, has been a little bit underwhelming, should I say, in the last couple of games. He came on in the week against Derby and looked sort of very slow and sluggish. So I'm not sure if he's had some sort of knock that he maybe picked up a couple of weeks ago, or he's just, maybe not quite up to speed at the moment. But he is coming off the back of those 3 goals in a row over the last couple of weeks, and then he hasn't scored in the last couple of games. But he's on a decent run of form, and hopefully, again, we'll see the official team in a couple of minutes, but my only concern at the moment is Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Martial and James were all doubts going into this game. And it just makes you think, if any or all of these players have been pushed back from an injury a bit soon, we've got positions all over the pitch that are filled with players that are maybe half fit, which may well be a bit of a worry as the game goes on. We'll have to see how that pans out. Again, this might not be the official team either, so we'll have to wait and see. If that should be coming out in a couple of minutes. Let me know what you think to that side. Let me know whether you think that team's good enough to beat Man City. Obviously, we've already beaten them twice this season and lost comfortably to them as well, so it could really go either way. I don't think United have beat City at home in the Premier League since 2015. There has been a recent trend of the away side getting the better of these fixtures as well in recent meetings. So I think it does tend to suit a counter-attacking style. We saw City score early on with Bernardo Silva in the last tie at Old Trafford and pretty much dominate that first half. And then United got a goal back in the second half and went on to win the second leg at the Etihad. But obviously, City went through on aggregate. But the Premier League's a different kettle of fish as well, isn't it? I think, we like I said, we've not won at home against City since 2015, so we'll have to see how it plays out. Let us know what you think to that side. We'll be getting the official team in a couple of minutes. Shouldn't be long at all now. There were some rumours that Matic was maybe going to be starting ahead of McTominay, but again, like I said, that leaked team, or supposedly leaked team, suggested otherwise. Give us your score predictions. 3-2 Man United. KDB confirmed out. I think it was pretty much confirmed. We will bring you the Man City team as well as soon as that goes live. It looked as though he had some sort of back injury that was likely to keep him out, but we'll have to see. It could be mind games, couldn't it? You never know with I say Pep, just football managers in general. A couple of people saying 3-2 United. 2-1 United. We need to win this because Chelsea's going to be 6 points ahead of us. Yeah, they're currently 4-0 up against Everton. A very poor-looking Everton side today, I must say. We are getting someone cheering in the background saying no De Bruyne. So it looks like there's no De Bruyne. The Man United team should be... Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's out now. And it isn't the same as the leaked team. So that leak was close, but no cigar or no Matic in this case. So the official team then, we'll be getting a graphic coming up very soon, but the official team has been released by Man United. We've got De Gea, and it is that back five of Lindelof, Maguire and Shaw as a back three, with Wan-Bissaka as your right wing back, Brandon Williams as left wing back, and then it's a midfield with no Scott McTominay, But instead it is Matic, Fred and Fernandes. So clearly going for a bit more of a defensive assurity there with Matic in the squad. And then again, that split striker partnership of Dan James, who has passed his fitness test, and Anthony Martial. Excuse me while I look off the screen here. At City side, we've got Ederson, Cancelo, Otamendi, Fernandinho and Zinchenko. That's a particularly suspect back line. You'd be fancying yourself if you were... I mean, Marcus Rashford's the one for me that I always, think of as the most dangerous, and of course he isn't available. Then there's a midfield of Rodrigo, Gundogan, Phil Foden. Not heard of him before. He must not have played many games. Bernardo, and then we've got Sterling and Aguero as well. So it's a strong front six for City, but that back line of Cancelo, Otamendi, Fernandinho, and Zinchenko potentially has a few. I wouldn't say a few mistakes in it, but certainly areas that you can target as a United team. The substitutes for Man United then: Sergio Romero, Eric Bailly, Axel Tuanzebe, Juan Mata, Scott McTominay, who has just dropped from the side but is obviously not injured or anything like that. He's still in the squad. And then we've got Mason Greenwood and Ighalo on the bench as well. It's nice to have a bench of like decent quality, like Eric Bailly and Tuanzebe, both good, reliable centre backs. Juan Mata and McTominay, good options, a bit more defensive midfield option, a bit more of an attacking midfield option, and then Greenwood and Ighalo, two actual strikers as well on the bench. So no Pereira again, no Lingard again, following the trend that we've seen in recent weeks of them being pushed out of the squad at basically any opportunity Solskjaer gets to. So yeah, the future isn't necessarily very bright for them, but hopefully it can be bright for United because it's a relatively strong squad, I would say that. Let us know what you think. Martin says target their centre-backs. Beats produced by CM says, got to prove we are improving. I think the thing is, we're 9 games unbeaten, and if we lose today, obviously it'll be a real blow for top 4. But you don't just beat every team in front of you just because you're improving. It's still going to be a really difficult game, and as I said, the away side has tended to have the advantage in this fixture in recent years, so I wouldn't put it past City to put in a good performance here, even with that sort of centre-back partnership. Dan James, I think, is a big plus in this one. His speed against the likes of Otamendi and Fernandinho will surely cause problems there. United at home plus 2 goals, 4-11. That's a banker. Well, good luck, Carey. Bruno would be crucial. Yeah, I think he's going to play a big part. Here's my little prediction for the game. Don't be surprised for Bruno to have a quiet game, because I would be shocked if Pep Guardiola hasn't come up with some sort of strategy to try and close him out, to try and minimise his effectiveness in this game. So I will be looking at the likes of Brandon Williams, Aaron Wan-Bissaka and Dan James and their pace to do a lot of the damage for us, because I think there's no way that Pep hasn't... remember we used to play against Chelsea and we'd put Ander Herrera on Eden Hazard or something like that. I don't think there'll be quite a targeted approach like we've seen in those games, but there will be certainly some kind of tactic to try and neutralise Bruno Fernandes, you would assume. So I think the other lads might have to pick up the slack and hopefully exploit any sort of space that a sort of Fernandes-centric defensive structure leaves open for United. So we'll have to see that. That'll be a key area to kind of pay attention to. Someone saying 2-2, Greenwood late equaliser, no Walker. Yeah, no Walker. Fancy Dan James to outpace their back four. Yeah, I think James's pace will be huge today. Martial obviously is a quick player as well, but he doesn't quite have that sort of first 20 yards where you can just blitz past anyone. He's good. He's a decent front runner, but he's not quite as explosive as Dan James, I don't think. Need Tony to stay central as an actual striker instead of drifting left wing to leave the box empty. I think we'll see him drift a little bit. When you're playing with two strikers, that sort of formation is designed for a bit more of kind of lateral freedom going forward. I think when he plays by himself up top and he drifts to the side, it's a bit more frustrating because there's no one in the box. But hopefully, if the ball gets played out to the right, Martial will pick that ball up in the channels, and if it gets played out to the left, Dan James will pick the ball up in that channel, and then the opposite will stay central. I think is usually the idea of that sort of split striker. Anyone else got butterflies? Liam, I'm actually really nervous for this one. 3-1 United, would have played either Greenwood or Ighalo up front. I think playing Greenwood up front is a bit of a risk, just because of his age and his lack of experience in these big games. And Ighalo, same. I think he'll be a good substitute to have coming off the bench. I still think his fitness probably isn't quite there after playing in China for the best part of 2 years. So it's probably good to have both of them as options off the bench. And also, it's nice to have good players on the bench. Like I said before, it's unusual for United where we've actually got like a relatively strong bench in all, decent players in all possible positions to come on. So there's nothing wrong with having a strong bench. I think that's just as important as starting with a strong side. Mark saying 2-0 United. Matic looked better. I think that's in response to someone talking about McTominay not playing there. Matic has looked pretty good recently. He can get the ball passed around him sometimes when he's not quite on his day, but hopefully it will be a good day for Nemanja Matic. Win today, I have confidence we can turn over Tottenham. Yeah, Tottenham are really shaky, aren't they? And we've already seen... we've beat Tottenham once already this season, haven't we? I think. So we could, hopefully another one of those would be great. We saw Solskjaer patting Mourinho on the head, I believe. Igalo to score 15 goals as an unused substitute. Yeah, just kicking the ball into a little net by the side of the pitch. Bets on Williams getting booked? Pretty likely. We're getting 2-0 United. Give me a final few flurries of score predictions then to take us into the game. Whilst I always like to predict United win, I can see a 1-1. To be fair, with Maguire being back, I can also see a 1-0 United. But if City are hard to stop for 90 minutes, aren't they? We saw that against them in the Carling Cup game. They are a difficult team to stop scoring, especially when we're trying to mount our own attacks and we're trying to be a bit more creative because with the home side, it's going to be difficult. 2-1 United. Mark saying 0-0. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a 0-0, to be honest. 2-1 United, 1-0 United. Could we expect an early rotation for Matic if he starts slow? If he starts really slow and he's being completely destroyed through the middle and he's not getting into the game, maybe. But generally, Solskjaer doesn't make too many, first half substitutions. Given how well Bailly and Shaw have been playing, would have liked both in the 11, Bailly in the 3, Shaw at left back. But Brand is due for a snap back into form at some point. Yeah, I think we see more out of Luke Shaw as a left centre back than a left wing back. He's not always the best in terms of tracking up and down, so I think you sort of give him one job to do and he can kind of excel in that role. Whereas Brandon's got a bit more legs, he's quicker than Luke Shaw, he's a bit more attack-minded, and I think in a goal-scoring position is a bit more comfortable as well. Luke Shaw always just seems terrified of shooting. I know you don't do too much shooting at left wing-back, but you do a little bit maybe. Shaw has been a good left-back though lately. Yeah, he has. Shaw doesn't play good at left wing-back. Yeah, I think, not that he's bad at left wing-back, but I don't think it's his best position. I think he's better at left centre-back than he is at left wing-back. You reckon Bruno's going to be targeted today, roughed up? I mean, almost certainly. It would be foolish of City not to have some kind of anti-Bruno tactic going on, because he's our biggest threat in transition, and he's our biggest threat bringing the ball out from the back. He's our biggest threat on the edge of the box, on the edge of our own box. He's probably our best player, certainly from the in front of the defence at least. 2-1 Bruno, first goal, penalty. Yeah, I could see a penalty. The pace of James, the trickery and dribbling of Martial as well could draw some sort of rash challenge from the likes of Fernandinho. Even Zinchenko, who is, for me, a decent left-back at best. Cancelo's a bit hit and miss as well. And Otamendi, we've seen his mistakes down the years. Could see some goals in this one. Give the video a like as well. 600 of you watching. Give a quick like on the video. That would be very helpful. Someone says, what conditioner do you use? I haven't used any this time, so get over it. Martial hat-trick. Yeah, hopefully we'll get something out of Martial. He does tend to play well against City. Scored a good goal against him in the league earlier this season at the Etihad. Pep might be focusing on closing down the lanes to Bruno instead of man-marking him out of the game. Yeah, we saw that a couple of years ago. Do you know Zlatan's first game when Claudio Bravo was playing? He made like 3 or 4 mistakes. I remember in that game, the first 20 minutes, we were trying to play the ball down the wings, and they just sat 2 men sort of on the halfway line or just inside United's half and just blocked that ball down the wings, and we just couldn't get the ball out for the first sort of 30 minutes. So yeah, it won't necessarily be as soon as Bruno gets the ball, someone's flying through the back of him. It might be more of a concerted, let's put 2 men in front of him and stop that passing lane at all times. But like I said, be prepared and be on the lookout for whatever anti-Bruno measures City are taking, because there will almost certainly be some. Someone's saying 2-1 City. Great optimism there. Unless you mean 2 United, 1 City. I don't know. Who would you like to see Brandon smash? Anyone. Yeah. Why does James start when he hasn't trained all week over Igalo? I think because he's got more experience. As much as, I know Igalo's, 9 years older than him, but he's not played for Man United in any big games yet. And he's just played, was it the full 90 minutes? Or certainly a good percentage of the game in the week. And, he's just come over from China a couple of months ago, so he could probably do with not playing 2 90 minutes in 4 days. Anyway, that's going to be all for us. We're going to be back for a watch-along very soon in, about 40 minutes. So about 4:15, we will be here for the watch-along. So be sure to tune in for that. Thank you very much for joining us. If only James could do the business in the final third. Well, look out for it today, because I think it could be a big game for him. Right, that's going to be all, like I said. Be sure to tune in for the watch-along in a few minutes, and we'll see you in a bit.